Chaplaincy everywhere. Recognising World Mental Health Day, we invited chaplaincy and well-being practitioners to gather together, recognising we are better together to support our chaplaincy contexts and offer crucial self-compassion care. It is now great to offer this recording of the webinar as we approach Interfaith Week.
Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, David.
My name is David Ryan. I'm chaplain at the Alexandra Hospital in Redditch, which is a medium-sized acute hospital. We're part of the Worcestershire Acute Hospitals Trust. We might be called Middle England. We're in the heart of England, and in a way we've been in the middle through COVID. We've, I guess, had middle impact as well, in terms of infection rates and death rates as well. The impact on the hospital and the staff that we've seen has been huge, and the middle of March, the hospital was essentially emptied in readiness for what was to come. Reflecting on all of that and the weeks and months since, and picking up on one or two things that Carol said as well, moral injury has certainly been part of the life of healthcare staff, and also families as well. When families can't visit a loved one at the end of their life, that has that sense of moral injury, that there's something wrong just in that moment and in that time and place. And another phrase, and this is part of our role as chaplains in interpreting and understanding what's happening in organisations and institutions, and what's spiritually and emotionally happening. And a phrase that I've come across is called emotional labour. And the sense of emotional labour is that, and to put it simply, we wake up feeling lousy in the morning, but in healthcare especially, when you get to the ward, you put your bright face on, you're positive, and you're professional, obviously, for the patients. Now that's okay and sustainable for a day or two or three, but when you're doing it day in and day out, because that's what you do, that's your professional dedication, but without the relief, then that bears heavily on emotional and indeed mental health as well. A third area that we've come across, and death and bereavement are very much part of the landscape for hospital chaplains, is around rituals, and especially funerals. We know how different they've become, but something we've seen in the hospital is that funeral corteges will process and actually come to the hospital, and staff can pay their respects actually on the hospital side. It feels different, but it's been really deep and important, and has given people, I think, an unusual but in a way creative way of paying tributes and respect.
Thank you, David.
Just
please.
Thanks, David. Thank you. Yeah.
No, please close if that was something that you really do need to share.
And just one final reflection is that what struck me about the crisis is that it's about the whole of life. It's not just about our workplaces, and that's certainly something Justin very much picked up on. It's about home life. The way that we would usually relax and refresh ourselves is just very different at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. We're now going to move 120 people into breakout rooms with our keynote speakers and other leaders. This is the first breakout room of 2. Please bear with us for a moment. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Yes,
Thank you.
We had some. It's a really good reflection on the power of technology and how WhatsApp enabled an end-of-life conversation to take place across continents. So, with that as well, something of course, the limitation of technology and that sense of actually being present with one another and actually so much of what we do as chaplains usually, and for instance in Birmingham city centre, of actually being present, it has been more difficult. Obviously things like furlough as well. And a final, actually, that permission to be vulnerable from Christina, which some organisations are still trying to be sort of strong and resilience and all of that, but actually an honesty which chaplaincy can bring, that people are exhausted, and that vulnerability is the first point of strength.
Yes, thank you.